welcome to the Cemetery Gates podcast featuring Xander Kane and Android Virus. Action. All right. Hey guys, thank you so much for coming back to the Cemetery Gates podcast. I am Android Virus, joined by the illustrious co-host, Mr. Xander Kane himself. How you doing?
Hey, good. Good evening. Hello, everyone.
Good evening or good day, good morning, good whatever, devil's hour, witching hour, I don't know, wherever you're at, I guess.
Right.
So.
Wow, here comes the dog.
Uh-oh. Here comes a dog.
Come on.
They're not a partner of the podcast. So
No.
they can't tell them. This is a two-man show. Maybe we'll have some guests sometime soon.
Come on. Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, we were talking about that. We need to get like a female perspective one time.
We do.
Yeah, just have a female jump on with us. And sorry, I said chick. My bad. I'm a child of the 80s, a teen of the 90s. What do you want me to say?
You're learning. Yeah.
All right, guys. So yeah, Cemetery Gates podcast. It's been a few weeks, couple weeks, and we picked some movies for you to review. One we both. Did you end up watching that one?
I watched all of them.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we could do a quick review on all of them.
I watched it. I'm going to talk about the Werewolf in the Dormitory. So.
Oh, so did I. I'm not going to say I didn't tune out, but I was. I'm doing a little toy fair this weekend, a toy swap meet, at a flea market, and I got a special invite, which is really cool. But so I was pricing all my action figures and all my toys out while I was watching it. So I kind of zoned out a little bit, didn't pay attention a whole lot, and I was like, like what's going on? Like I didn't, So yeah, we did that one, and then we're doing a segment because every other show out there, guys, we're doing a short film, and then we're doing a segment, an old segment that we used to do that we've been bringing back, and it's called Second Chances, and we decided to do a Second Chances on this one for Snowbeast. That's right, 1977.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, which I remembered nothing of.
Right.
Like not even anything. I was
yeah.
Like, oh wait, I recognize the actors. That's about it. I didn't remember.
And then I see you do a post on social media like, hey, why not? I'm watching this one too. So there's a remake.
Yeah, with John Snyder of Dukes of Hazzard fame.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if you're my wife of the haves and have-nots. Yeah, she loves that show. Anyways, so it's a remake, but I want to say a very loose remake. Pretty loose. And then we did your pick, but we'll get into a little bit later. I think this will be a good one to end off with.
Yes.
And I ended up watching that today, this afternoon, which is really cool. Vampire Hunters, is that what it is? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's also known as Era of the Vampires. So got two titles on you.
Didn't mind it. So yeah, man. So we always like to talk about what we've been watching, and since I did renew my Shudder subscription, I ended up watching Hellraiser 2, and I think you did as well.
Yeah, I watched part of Joe Bob, kind of off and on the Joe Bob drive-in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot how fucking good that movie is. I haven't seen Hellraiser 2 in many, many moons. So
super fun, man. It really is a super fun movie. I ended up watching that. I need to write down what I watched. Oh, Phantasm. We did a Phantasm. Me and the boy.
Nice.
Boy. Me and one of the boys. He was really. It's funny. Okay, so I have twins, as everybody knows, twin sons, and they're going to be 15 here in a couple months. But one of the twins, which is weird, they kind of reversed personality somewhere 2 years ago. Like one of the twins was like way into pro wrestling and horror, and all of a sudden he just got an attitude and just likes to play video games and listen to hip hop in his room and not talk to anybody. And then the other twin, who was kind of like that before, who was just kind of moody and kind of a shit, he's all of a sudden like the grown up in the twin relationship. he's like, what's going on, wrestling, Dad? And so I was watching Phantasm the other night because I always like to do a nice viewing of the Phantasm from time to time, and he just sat on the couch and he's like, what's this? And it just grabbed him. And I was pretty much like, I think my wife called me the other room, so I kind of tapped out middle of it, towards the end of it or whatever. And he just stayed glued on the couch watching it in the dark by himself.
Nice.
And so he's like, well, okay. And I let my kids cuss. He's like, what the fuck was that? And I was like, what do you mean? And he's just like, what was it a fucking dream? What was it? And I was just like, I don't know. It's for you to determine, man. That's what it is.
Wait till you see the next 4.
Yeah. And then it really gets out there. So, and then I ended up watching on Joe Bob Briggs' Last Drive-In Hogzilla,
Nice.
which is something, I don't know. I guess the story behind Hogzilla is that Joe Bob was in the movie and they didn't finish it. Something happened. And I guess Darcy, their mail girl, got in touch with the director, and then they got the footage, and then they found somebody to edit it. So Joe Bob had never seen it. So they were watching it live on the last drive-in and getting his live reaction, and he was just tearing the fucking movie apart. It was so funny, man. It was just like, oh man, it was hilarious. But yeah, it was pretty funny. It was pretty entertaining. It was pretty bad, dude. It was almost as bad as Snowbeast 2009. So
Yeah.
yeah, so,
Almost.
yeah. So what did you check out, man?
I watched a Argentinian film called "What the Waters Left Behind," which is like a kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Wrong Turn deal. Just about some like filmmakers go out to like. Well, it says what the water's left behind because it has some shit to do with like the water table in an area flooded, and when the water receded back, it had, it's like an old town that was there, but it's uninhabited because it got flooded so many years ago. And so they take a trip down there to document the whole town that was basically flooded how many ever years ago. But of course, there's some inbred still there hanging out. And, it's pretty good. It's not too shabby. I enjoyed it. Unearthed Films just put it out on Blu-ray not that long ago, so I snagged it up. It's definitely worth checking out, though, if you like those kind of weird,
Yeah,
one-off flicks. And then I caught as you know, I'm going through my vampire films at the moment, and I watched a Vampire in Venice with Klaus Kinski, which I didn't know was a thing. Wasn't half bad. It was, has the music in it is fantastic, actually, and it's very classic vampire film. They don't really do anything crazy spectacular, but it's, they do a good tribute to the Dracula mythos, and it was pretty enjoyable. It had some good blood scenes, and Klaus Kinski's awesome as always. So,
damn weirdo.
yeah. And then I watched some dumb movie called Killed TV about some people that work at a shitty, like closed circuit television network, and they get trapped in there and start getting killed off one by one.
No,
It's not very good, but
no,
so not at all. But yeah, that's about it. And then our picks. So
yeah, cool, man. Yeah, so yeah, we just kind of it's during these times we have time to watch more movies. I think as well, I find myself watching a lot of shit and forgetting about a lot of shit that I'm watching. I need to start a letterboxd, but I don't. But it's funny. I get so frustrated.
I thought you signed up at one point.
I did, but I don't know how to upload a profile picture, and it pisses me off. So I give up. Like, god damn it! If I can't fucking load, like, this is my thing. Like, on principle, if I can't load a simple fucking profile picture, your fucking platform sucks. So, like, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not talking shit on Letterboxd, but this is probably user error. You know what I mean?
Yeah, mine's up, no problem. So.
Yeah, yeah, I know. You probably uploaded yours, no problem. Maybe I just need to download the app. So, yeah, there you have it, man. So. So I was kind of looking up the movie that we watched, The Second Chances, Snowbeast. So let's play our intro
All right.
of Second Chances, and I'll play the somewhere along the way. Maybe I'll edit into the podcast here the trailer.
And now it's time for Second Chances here on the Cemetery Gates podcast.
This is our Second Chances. This is what we do every other show. We review a film that we didn't really remember or gave a low rating to.
Yeah, and I believe we gave this one a 1. So.
And I gotta say, Mr. Zanderkane, what the fuck were we thinking?
I don't know. I agree. I think we were wrong on this, but I'm not like saying it was the most amazing thing of all time.
But no, I'm not. But it was better than a 1.
Yeah, it's a simple plot. It's a Colorado ski resort is having the annual celebration, centennial. I don't know, whatever the hell it is.
Let's call it
gala.
We'll call it the old Jaws formula.
Yeah, and of course, it is going to be ruined by a Yeti of sorts.
Yes.
It's nothing, but it's a TV movie, I do believe, correct?
Yeah, it was NBC Thursday night movie, premiered on April 28th, 1977. So I think I was all of about 6 months old.
Yeah, it's very formulaic as far as the TV movies go of that era.
Right.
You could the music you could probably just plug and play from one to the next, and it's probably the same damn score on half of them. I swear to God.
Yeah. Commercial cuts right when somebody dies, or after somebody dies.
But the second time around, I was way more interested in it, and it didn't. I guess the first time we watched it, it just didn't hit our. I don't know what we were expecting, but it definitely, felt different this time around. It felt like, oh, it was okay. It was okay.
Yeah, it was good. It starred Bo Svensson, who has been in what he was in played Frankenstein in a 1973 movie. He was also in a lot of World War II movies. He played Walking Tall.
So Kill Bill Volume 2.
Yeah, Kill Bill
the Reverend. Little bit part. He's got a lot of little bit parts. The last 10 years, but
and he's a big man, but so basically kind of the premise of the story is he's kind of he's a gold medalist skier, but his life's nothing without skiing no more, and his wife's trying to get him a job at the ski resort where the guy he competed against works, and there's people missing, and the old lady that runs the ski resorts wanted to keep it hush hush, and that's kind of it in a nutshell. And then they got to go hunt the Bigfoot with the sheriff. And Bo Svensson's wife, who kind of has a crush on his old skiing nemesis. They kind of have a crush on each other, but throughout the movie, she finds her love for Bo again because he's a hero. He's a championship cross country skier.
He earned himself another gold medal by the end of the movie.
He certainly did. He skiing uphill slowly.
Yeah, and I actually kind of enjoyed those skiing scenes this time around.
I did too. They were very calming.
Right. It was like.
Let me tell you what, bro. And I texted you. I said, "Man, I'm in awe of Bo Svensson's fucking ski suit. That is a thing of fucking glory."
Yeah, what's the other guy's name? Tony? Is that his buddy?
Yeah.
Yeah. The very beginning, he goes on this is like a long scene where he's going down, just cruising down the mountain. I mean, it's like 3.5 minutes long.
Just skiing. Yeah. Just.
Cool. How long are these credits?
Yeah, long movie, but yeah, I mean they eventually killed the Snowbeast and saved the day, but that was a lot better than what I would think. And for this show, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5, man.
Woo, a 3.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. I'm 2.5. I feel very comfortable at. But
Okay.
I'm not going to argue the 3. I do argue our 1. Like, I don't.
I do. Yes.
We were in the wrong. See, that's exactly why we go back and do these things, right? Like,
Right.
maybe we were not vibing on it for some reason. Sometimes you need a second viewing. So
You certainly do.
yeah, I think especially as far as like TV horror goes, this one's definitely average or potentially just a little bit above some of the other stuff. So I would
That's
say
right,
check it out.
guys.
It's actually on Amazon Prime, I believe, at the moment.
Yeah. And YouTube
So,
free if you want to watch it.
yeah.
I think it's been up there for about fucking 8 years.
Yeah, but it is on Prime Video right now.
Yes. So I hope you guys check it out. It's worth it. Shit, I might do this next year on Android Vision. I don't know. So.
And that was Second Chances here on the Cemetery Gates podcast.
All right, so that was Second Chances, and I guess that's a good segue into our next film, because, again, like I said at the beginning of the show, I didn't my bad, but I didn't pay attention to the other one that we picked, but we're going to get into it a little bit later because I kind of get a premise of it. But you posted online that you're saying, fuck it, I'm watching the other Snowbeast from 2011. And I said, fuck it, let's watch it. And I'm just going to say this. It's this time in New Mexico, it's real fucking hot outside. Like we're at a dry heat.
Yeah.
And one of the cooler rooms in my house is the living room. And so my wife's like in there reading a book, and I'm watching Snowbeast 2011. And she said, I'm going to the other room. I can't hang. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I can't hang. This is bad. And I said, all right, we'll see you later. You know what I mean? All right. So this was kind of a dual pick by you and I. 2011 Snowbeast, a horror film, stars John Schneider, Jason London, the twin of Jeremy London, Danielle Churchrin, and basically the only thing it really has to do with the other Snowbeast is that it has the name and a snow beast.
That it looks very similar to the original Snowbeast.
Little updated.
Yeah, but they look pretty darn similar.
Right. And I'm not sure. I mean, we watched this again. This is on YouTube for free.
And IMDb TV for free. I didn't know that was a thing till today, but
interesting.
You can watch it on IMDb for free.
I'm not quite sure where this was released originally.
It felt like a sci-fi original film, but I couldn't find that anywhere. So
me neither. One thing I found really interesting about this film, before we get into the plot of it, that several of these actors, and I'm not knocking anything or trying to or anything like that, but like John Schneider, the John Schneider's daughter in this, and then the other guy, his partner, in crime, or not in crime, but his kind of science buddy.
Yeah.
They are all kind of not stars, but of like the Christian genre movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I was reading about that, I'm like, what, this movie kind of had that wholesome feel to it, if you know what I mean. Like in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? It kind of had that, like, it wasn't like
it plays up the family vibe between the father and daughter, because mom left him, so it's like that heartstrings pulling on that family connection.
Right.
But
yeah. So I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. Those three actors in particular are kind of like stars of the Christian genre. I guess there is such a film genre out there of feel good.
Yeah, I don't know what the genre is, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So basically, this movie kind of starts like the other one, but without. They got some rockin' music that starts it off, and instead of skiing, it's snowboarding.
Yeah, it's in Canada instead of Colorado.
Right, and then you think, I think that it's going to involve snowboarders, but it doesn't. However, the first victim is a snowboarder that gets taken away. There's not a whole lot of there's some violent scenes in it, but nothing too crazy. But we get John Schneider and his daughter, a little backstory. She's in trouble, so she's got to go with him on a job into the Canadian wilderness. And they have to study some lynx, those wild cats or whatever, because somehow, some way, their tracking systems have been knocked down. And so he takes his daughter out there and meets his friends, a couple of other people. And there's kind of a little side story with Jason London, the local ranger, and another guy. And he's kind of like, Jason London's like wanting to investigate some people missing, and the other guy's like, hey, people get missing in avalanches all the time.
Yeah, I love that dude. Actually, he's funny. He's like, all right, he's just kind of a jerk to Jason London, like, just shut up and do your job, dude.
This is Canada, man. Snow seas. Dudes want to take off, ditch bad debts and their girlfriends all the time, man.
Yeah, and he's like, that guy didn't go missing. What if he ran away? He could be in Paris right now, escaping all of his troubles, looking for a job.
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Paris is the city that he picks to choose?
Sure.
Where this guy ran away from Canada?
Just come to Albuquerque, New Mexico. You'll disappear real quick. So they're kind of like, the Snowbeast is kind of playing a backstory. He actually, I was really, really surprised in how fast Jason London got dispatched. I thought he'd be in a little bit more of it, but
I did too.
And his buddy, and he doesn't do a whole lot of movies, does he? Kind of his career kind of took a little bit of a dive, didn't it?
He goes in and out. I feel like I see him in some stuff, and then I'll see his brother in some stuff, and then I'll have to look to see which one's who. And I feel like they just go back and forth. I feel like they do consistent work, but
yeah, he was in Dazed and Confused as Pink.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit fall from grace for him on this one. So yeah, they're kind of doing some investigating, finding weird tracks and things being knocked down, and their fucking snowmobile gets thrashed in the middle of the night by this smart half beast, half snowman, fucking snow beast
thingy.
Yeah, and
he looks awesome though. I love how he looks.
He's pretty funny too. He just kind of pops his head up over fucking snowbanks.
Yeah, and then he just there's a couple times where he just, instead of like devouring or doing anything, and I'm assuming this is why I think it was on like Sci-Fi Channel or something, because rather than show like a really gruesome like death where they could basically just like slaps them across the face, and they just do like 3 slashes across their face, and then the Snowbeast just walks away. He basically slaps him and leaves. Like, all right, that was anticlimactic.
And let me tell you, the slashes across the face look like cat scratch marks, and they look like they were drawn on carefully with lipstick. So they're not like really great graphics, any good, gags or anything like that.
Hey, but at least it's not CGI.
No, we didn't get any CGI in this. So they have another encounter with the Snowbeast. His daughter's a little floozy. She wants to escape and hang out with dudes at the ski resort, or she wants to have sex with a guy who's more than half her age, his buddy. And John Schneider's like, "What are you doing?"
He's twice your age. He's not interested in you.
Are you? No, I'm not. And then he trips over a fucking trash can.
Yeah.
So there's some funny shit in it, but so like, there's he kind of has a love interest a little bit with the lady. It gets dispatched as well, unfortunately. And then John Schneider, doesn't he gets kidnapped by the Snowbeast and gets put in a cave, kind of like a Luke Skywalker status on Hoth, but not hanging upside down. He's just kind of wrapped up in a little hole.
Yeah, in his jacket.
Yeah. And
waiting to be saved.
Yeah, so his daughter and his buddy, the other guy, they save him, and they eventually his buddy dies helping him, and
Yeah, that's actually a really great scene though. When the buddy like sacrifices himself and he's standing there and he picks up the knife that he brought down with him, and the snow beast basically punches a hole straight through his chest without going all the way through his body. Like you can see like his chest collapse and then blood just starts oozing out of it, and then he gets slapped in the face too. That's the ultimate death punch from a snow beast.
Right.
But it did look really cool when it punched. I was like, oh whoa, cool.
Yeah. And then they blow the snow beast up in an avalanche. They bury him. And they live happily ever after.
Right. Or so we believe.
Or so we believe until like there's some other snowboarders like, do you hear that?
Yeah, they set it up for the sequel, the typical cliffhanger for a sci-fi original movie. I swear to God, this thing has to be one.
It has to be, bro. Like, it's definitely Jason X quality.
Especially because like John Snyder he went through a period of time where he did a bunch of like sci-fi films.
Sure, yeah.
So I would think I just couldn't find any definitive proof one way or the other. Granted, I didn't look that hard, so I'm sure someone listening will be like, "Oh yeah, I just Googled it."
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot about this movie, man.
Like, rightfully really, so. It's not terribly memorable.
It's not that great. I mean, it's produced by a guy named Brian Brow, and he does Christian movies, bro. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that like that's kind of where I was looking at a lot of stuff.
When I was watching it, I was actually thinking, like, man, this is like the Hallmark movie formula for horror movie. Like, yeah, all have the same, it just felt.
Can we coin this as a Christian horror movie, like the first? Like, is this? I mean, like, I'm like kind of wanting to like investigate this genre a little bit more.
I don't know. We can look into it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a horror podcast after all.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it all the way and see what happens.
Exactly. So, honestly, man, I didn't. It was entertaining. It didn't blow me away, but it didn't completely. It was no munchies.
No.
So I gave it a 2 out of 5.
Yeah, I would hold tight there because I actually think that the Snowbeast 77 does actually give a slight edge.
Yes.
I would actually probably be more inclined to watch 77 again than I would before I'd watch this one. Just because there's a million movies like that are equally as bad as this, or maybe a little bit better. So, like, absolutely, I absolutely love Abominable, which is another Yeti flick with Tiffany Shepis, and I can never remember the dude's name, but he's one of the cops from Police Academy 3.
No, I don't know.
Or Police Academy. Yeah, Police Academy 3. But yeah, it's Abominable is my favorite one of these. So
yeah. So check it out, guys. IMDb TV free or YouTube free. Snowbeast 2011. It's not that great, but it's not that bad either. It's definitely sci-fi worthy. So
absolutely.
All right, cool. All right, guys, up next, I think what we can do is we'll dive into, man, this is a fucking 4-movie show, bro. Jeez.
I know. Look at that.
I know. Well, we'll go through this one real quick here because I'll let you kind of handle the reins on this one. We're going to listen to a trailer for Werewolf in a Girls' Dormitory.
Until you see it with your own horror-stricken eyes.
Since I've been here, I've been trying to capture a wolf to extract his glands.
But tell me, Professor, have you ever experimented on yourself?
The new doctor, suspect, beauties, the prey of fiendish desires. A village up in arms.
Look there! Where? At the top of the stairs!
Water, stop or I'll shoot! Wow! A Nerdorama shocker! Warning, this picture is for people with nerves of iron only.
All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that trailer for a werewolf in a girl's dormitory. 1961 horror mystery film. It's an Italian film. This was my pick originally, and as I confessed earlier in the show, I kind of zoned out a little bit on it because I was doing something else. Which, look, for future reference, black and white films, especially dubbed over, I'm gonna have to pay attention. So
Yeah.
this is also known in Italian as lycanthropus, and it's pretty much says it all in the name, man. Wolves have been seen roaming around a girl's reformatory, and some girls begin getting murdered, and the suspension goes on, either a wolf or a newly hired science teacher who might be a werewolf, or
that used to be a doctor.
Yes.
And he got banned from being a doctor for his experiments, which were all related to, you find out later, were related to lycanthropy.
Yes.
But yeah, it really kind of plays out more like a mystery, like a crime mystery movie that just happens to have some werewolves in it.
Yeah, very noirish.
Absolutely. And I found that really charming about this particular flick. I liked it, had that kind of old black and white Corman vibe to it, with a little bit better acting, but not so great dubbing. But that's okay. That's what you get from back then, I reckon.
Sure.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I know you kind of dozed off, but it was definitely slow. It has its moments, and the makeup is it's always kind of fun to look at the old werewolf makeup, because where they had you can see the line. So in this particular movie, it's all we're gonna do is put hairy hands on them and give them some sharp teeth, but we're only gonna do makeup from the bridge of the nose up. So it's basically just a wrinkled forehead that they give them, and you can see the line clear as day. Technology is obviously much better with the picture quality, so it stands out a little more. So it kind of made me laugh every time I saw the werewolf. It was like, rawr.
Yeah, and they actually shot it in reverse, starting with the full makeup and shot reverse with more elements of his transformation being removed, and then that whole process took 3 hours from what I was reading on, and so that was kind of effective. And then they play it forward, so you get the whole thing going, the whole makeup werewolf transformation. And he wasn't it wasn't really a cool werewolf, he's kind of scroggly, scrawny,
kind of hunched back over a little bit.
Yeah, the way he played it, he wasn't really a brooding animal type. He was more of kind of a drunk. I don't know. It's hard, a fucking heroin addict.
Yeah, he wasn't terribly just not dominant. He honestly just doesn't look like a confident werewolf, to be real. He's like, here I am, coming to get you.
Yeah,
I'm supposed to be scared of this guy.
Yeah. And so there's like you said, it's very noirish. It's very mystery-ish. Got some chicks in it that died, and I do like the kill scene, because I did catch the kill scenes, because I was looking up when the kill scenes were happening.
Yeah,
a lot of neck biting going on, a lot of blood dribbling down the necks and the breasts.
Yeah,
that was cool. I enjoyed
that part. And the ladies at the dormitory are all gorgeous,
very gorgeous. As a matter of fact, they're saying that all the actresses in it were French, English, Italian, and German. So you had a hodgepodge of different women there,
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yeah, I liked it. I would totally watch it again.
Yeah, I need to.
Yeah, when you're ready to focus.
You know what? I'm going to tell you, I watched 60% of it. I did watch it from beginning to end. Don't get me wrong. I watched it from Real to real, man. Credit to credit. I didn't turn it off and I didn't leave the room. I was just pricing out toys while it was on. And
Yeah, this one's easy to check out too. Like it's on Tubi for free. It's on Amazon Prime. It's where else? It's somewhere else. Shout Factory TV is on there too. It's all over the place. Full Moon has it on there. So
yeah, it's all over YouTube for free. It's everywhere. I kind of feel like it's probably a public domain film.
I'm not 100% because I don't know how internationally that works because it's not an American film. So I'm not sure if it is or isn't.
Yeah, well,
very well could be, but
yeah, it wasn't bad. It's worth a werewolf check. I mean, worth another notch in your belt in the werewolf genre.
Yeah, I think if you're totally into the genre of werewolves, it's 100% worth checking out. But if you're just kind of like, man, I don't care about werewolves, and man, you probably won't care about this movie.
Pretty cool dogs in it too, man. I do got to say the dogs are good actors. There's dogs in it.
Was that German Shepherds in there, I think?
Yeah. So that was cool. They were real smart. I like that. But yeah, man, I mean, from what I saw, I'd probably give it about a 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah, it's average for sure.
Just kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, it's fair rating there. It's hard for those earlier ones like that to really kind of blow you away.
It is, because
when it comes to like the werewolf and movies, like, because you just want that super awesome transformation scene. You know, that's what you're kind of always waiting for in werewolf movies. And I mean, you do get one here, but it's very, you know, if you've seen all the really good ones, it's not very exciting. You're like, ow.
No, it's a little lackluster.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so.
But a great effort.
Yes. All right, guys. Up next, we're going to go ahead and do your pick.
Finally, gosh.
Yes, and it's Stu Hark's Vampire Hunters. And we're going to go ahead and listen to the trailer, and we'll be right back.
From acclaimed filmmaker Choi Hawk. Beneath the earth, a mysterious evil has risen. No one can escape its fury. No one is safe from its wrath. 5 warriors will have one chance to take back their world. Choi Hawk's Vampire Hunters.
And this was your pick, buddy. And
was my pick.
Was your pick, and nice fucking pick. So we'll get into it, man.
Yeah.
So this is you said it was also called the Era of Vampires, right?
Yeah, it's called the Era of the Vampires, and the story here is, so they do a couple of things really cool here. They kind of change the mythos of a vampire to begin with, which is kind of important to know, because if you miss that at the beginning, you don't really understand what's going on, because they call the vampires zombies. Mm-hmm. And you're like, wait, what the hell's, are they zombies or are they vampires? Well, the way in this particular film the mythos goes is that someone dies and then they turn into a zombie, and after a certain period of time they turn into a vampire. So that's how that works. So when you're watching the subtitles, that'll explain that to you. But the kind of the synopsis is there's like these hunters that are going, they're not monks, but they are, I get, just like some elite vampire hunters, and they're going to the king's like property to kill a rumored vampire that's been running amok in that area. So basically they go there to kill it because it's their duty to do so. And when they get there, they get mistaken for like servants. And there's like the king's brother or whatever is getting married to his sixth wife suspiciously.
Mm-hmm.
And so they take this as an opportunity to be like, oh yeah, we're the help. So they can get inside the building and see if they can find this vampire so they can, kill it. And then there's like a weird subplot. Not weird. It's perfectly fine. There's another group of misfits like that come into the movie, and they are going to the king's property to rob him of all of his gold. So these two parties are gonna wind up meeting at the same place, not knowing that the other one's there. And it's pretty damn awesome because
keep in mind real quick. Sorry to step on you, bro. But keep in mind, all these motherfuckers know badass kung fu.
Absolutely, and swordplay. Like they're good.
Yeah, so we just got to throw that in there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Your first like really great scene is actually when you get the misfits coming on the way. The misfits on the way to the king's place, they run into the king vampire, and there's a carriage down on the road, and like all this freaking awesome fight scenes, and the vampires are doing this weird floaty shit in the air. Like they don't fly like Superman; they just kind of hover and glide. And then they like wrap you up and suck the blood out through your face, like through your eye holes, and they pull the blood from your body.
Yeah,
biting you, which is fucking awesome. And for 2003, the effects are pretty darn good here. When they do that, it's after a while, if it's on the screen for too long, like okay, it's kind of cheesy, but quickly like, oh shit, this is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. It is. I like the effects of not the effects, but like the way, like you said, kind of going back a little bit to how they describe vampires. They're just zombies who amass their powers for such a long time they eventually turn into like vampires, and they're just like think Robo Vampire. We watched that before, but like way better. Like way better effects, way better. Like I love the way how they tried to capture that vampire in the beginning and how he was just dragging him through trees and shit. Like the effects in this are so good, man, because like they're trying to wrangle him down with ropes and chains and all kinds of stuff, and it's just done with really quick editing. Just really good, like just Chinese kung fu type of editing. You know,
the choreography is great.
Yeah, and really think of a kung fu film. That's basically what this is. This is a kung fu movie all the way.
With vampires in it.
And vampire hunters. And so, yeah, there's that subplot of this king, which is funny that you mentioned that because his brother's like on his sixth wife, but the brother ends up dying from a snake bite. Yeah. And then the king kind of tells the new wife, well, you're going to chill here for a while. Just you and me, and I'm the best preserver in the land of bodies. They'd last a lifetime. I wax them.
Right.
So he's got a castle full of waxed bodies.
Yeah, which is to prevent them from turning into zombies and vampires.
Right.
Yeah, so there's a whole other weird plot.
It's really cool, though, man.
It is cool. I'm going to be up front. I fucking love this movie so much.
Me too, man. Me too.
But yeah, so after the misfits get in there and, vampires start showing up, shit starts hitting the fan. Most of those guys die. They don't come back. So basically their boss man comes back to the king's property as well to find out these guys and figure out what's going on. And then the king like promises the girl to whoever can help him kill the vampire when they get there. Like they have a fight with each other, which is just an awesome fight scene. But then the king's like, hey, let me work a deal for you. I can give you her hand. And the guy's like, yes, I'll do it. Because he's like infatuated with her because I saw her taking a bath earlier. So he's like, I must be with her.
Right. I'll make her my wife.
Yeah. And so the rest of the movie is just like them trying to eliminate the vampires and kind of teaming up and getting it all said and done. But yeah, it's fucking awesome. All the way through.
All the way through, man. Yeah.
And the closing shot, they're just doing the fight, trying to kill the vampires. And the closing shot is of the waxed people, like, starting to melt is the last scene in the movie.
Right.
Which is really fucking cool.
Kind of leaves it open.
Oh, absolutely. I would have loved a sequel to this movie.
It certainly does, man. I mean, it's just the fight scenes, the subplots. It's subbed, you guys, subtitles. So there's no, maybe somewhere you can find an American dubbed version, but I preferred the subs myself. And it's just a fun movie, mostly shot at night. Um, the vampire itself, or the vampires themselves, they're not. They're
Not
ugly.
the best.
They're not the.
Yeah.
They're very trauma-esque.
Yeah, well, I think they're playing up that vibe of that. I mean, they look dead completely. I think they're just really buying into that mythos of like dying, turning into a zombie, and turning into a vampire. All those stages, there's like so much deterioration. Like you wouldn't be like all fresh and clean. Like, I mean, you look like a dead man walking. So that's what they. I think that's what they. I think that was a creative choice intentionally. I don't know. I don't think it was like a budget thing or like, oh, let's just make them look shitty. I think it was. Well, I think it was super intentional. So,
yeah, I just thought that the end as well, that the there's some good gore at the end, without giving too much away. But you know, there's like a head protruding out of a body, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? They just cut the head off, and there's another head coming out of the chest, and so there was some pretty decent gore gags in it. Great choreography, fucking great. That's what blew me away the most about it, the fighting.
Yeah, I didn't expect it. I didn't know what I had seen this movie. I hadn't seen the movie, but I like recognized the movie poster, and I never happened to watch it, and then I finally saw it on Prime, and I was like, well, fuck yeah, here we go.
Yeah, it's a super fun movie. It was a great pick. So we kind of did Snowbeasts, we did vampires, we did Snowbeasts times 2, Werewolf, and a vampire. Man, we fucking like.
We're in the gamut today,
dude. They got a bang for their buck today. 4 fucking.
That's true.
Films.
Yeah, and since we did 4 films, I give this particular film 4 stars, and I adored it.
I 100% agree with you.
I am buying a physical copy somewhere. I haven't looked yet, but yeah, I'll try to find it. I gotta own this movie. I can't not have it because it's only streaming right now on Amazon Prime, I think. But I could be wrong. So it's not necessarily readily available. So,
and the only reason I would have given it a 4 is I feel like maybe the gore could have been a little bit better. It's a Chinese film. And it's a period piece. So you're looking at like, you know, like kind of when the type of Kung Fu movies where like half their head shaved with a big braid on the back, you know, and
yeah, well, that's what the chief guy has that comes. Yeah. But he's the only one that's outfitted like that.
Right. And they just got some badasses in this movie. They got a few different bad guys, and it's your typical Kung Fu flick with vampires. And let me tell you, there's some really good spooky scenes where like he's riding on horseback with that girl in the woods and it's just foggy.
Yeah.
And, like what's going on? Like it just, you're just like, this is a fucking horror movie.
Yeah.
This is why I watch horror. This is spooky. You know, the atmosphere was great, and then mixed in with Kung Fu, and it doesn't come off super cheesy at all.
No, because if you're just watching the Kung Fu fights, you're like, oh, it's just a Kung Fu movie. They're like, oh wait, no, it's a horror movie.
Yeah, and kudos to the golden snake in it.
Yeah.
He was crawling in the gold, and when the dude was trying to steal it, he got bit by a golden snake. So I thought that was very fucking Kung Fu-esque.
And once again, we have another snake death on the show. What is that, like 5 in the last like 6 or 7 shows?
Yeah, and that's not
6 or 7 movies. No.
Yeah. A lot of snakes like to kill people.
Snakes are being assholes, I guess.
Well, by the way, my son was dropping a mouse in his snake cage, and the snake jumped up to grab it and grabbed my son's hand instead.
Oh, nice. Did he freak the fuck out?
No, he didn't, which is really weird. He's like, what the fuck? Because it didn't even hurt, because it's it's a little python, little ball python. And they don't have fucking fangs. They have like little tiny serrated teeth that are like fucking sandpaper. It's not going to hurt. I mean, he drew a little blood on him, but he's like,
it'll draw a little blood, but
he's like, what the fuck? So he kind of squeezed his jaw and took it off, and then it ate the mouse. And think the snake kind of unloosened its jaw as well. It's like, I am not going to get this down, you know? But it's funny because he's our only other son that's got bitten by a dog too. So it's like Noah and
bites him?
animals. Yeah, Noah and animals, bro. You guys don't mix. So something's going on there. So, but yeah, man. So hopefully next week, next show we'll do another short film.
Might do
for
a
you.
bunch of short films. We don't know. We may have a special show.
Let's see, man. I'm still Mr. Xander Kane. We need to find a chick to come on with us, bro. Just not like a permanent, you know what I mean? Just just to give us a perspective on stuff. Just a guess, something fun, something makes sense.
Okay, we'll work on that.
We'll work on it. But yeah. So we'll do some shorts the next one, and then I'll find a pick for you next time as well. So
no worries.
And I promise I will not zone out on this one. That was
it's okay.
I was like, that looks cool. I just typed up Werewolf. Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, even though the Snowbeast remake was pretty shitty, it was still not the worst thing in the world to watch.
It was Cemetery Gates podcast worthy.
Caliber. That's right. I mean, like, this is it's the CB's 2010-11. Like, if you're like sick on the couch one day and you just want to watch something kind of mindless and silly, it kind of serves that purpose. It can scratch that itch.
There you have it. It's well, it was enough to repel my wife into the other room. Didn't even give a.
That could have been the acting.
Well, she's a John Schneider fan because again, he's in the Haves and Have-Nots and plays quite an asshole in it. And she was like, "Well, he's nice in this one." It's like, yeah, he's nice. He was kind of a dick to his daughter, but he was a nice. Yeah. He wasn't a heavy-handed father, but he was a disciplinarian.
How about you go in there and prepare us food? Is what he tells her at the beginning of the fucking movie.
Yeah. How about you go prepare us dinner, woman? It was definitely a Christian horror movie. Just kidding.
There it is. There's the proof we were looking for.
That's it. Subservient. Jesus. All right, guys. So till next time, we will hopefully be back in a couple weeks to entertain you again with another couple good movies and a short, man. So you know where to find us. We'll be playing that at the end of the show, and we'll talk to you bitches soon.
Good night.
Good night, vampires and werewolves and snow beasts.
You've been listening to the Cemetery Gates podcast, featuring Android Virus and Xander Kane. Follow us on Twitter @AndroidVirus, @Xander_Kane, and @CemeteryGates66.